Hey guys, what's up? I hope you guys are ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today, we got Yuri Dumchev. I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm not Russian. But he was a Soviet Union discus thrower with a PR 71 meters, 86 centimeters. And the reason I believe he is underrated is because I don't think a lot of people know this, especially people nowadays, is that before Jurgen Schultz, he was the world record holder. And I believe he took that from, because let's see, went like what, Mac Wilkins, Wolfgang Schmidt, and then I think Yuri. So, yeah, people just think it went from Wolfgang Schmidt straight to Jurgen Schultz, but not a lot of people know it. Also, there was a guy before Jurgen Schultz. So, and I think he gets under talked about a lot. And I think it's just because he didn't really compete that long. He only completed one Olympics, and that was in Seoul, in the Seoul Olympics, where he finished fourth place throwing like 66 meters. And yeah, he had a very, very short career. So this is him, 1989. And let's see. So, let's get into this. Now, I'm going to point out a few things he does that, yeah, it's maybe not like the best thing in the world. Let me just make sure. Oh, okay, yeah, good. By the way, I do apologize. This is a brand new phone that I'm recording on, so let me know how you guys like this. I'm not recording through this app I usually use for my discus analysis. So, we'll see. I don't know why. Oh, that's just, okay. So, just let me know if you guys can, like, hear me and everything okay. I'm not too great with technology, and I'm having to use some weird stuff in order to record this video, so I hope it turns out okay. If not, I do apologize. But I hope this is an improvement over my previous recordings. Not that I bought this phone specifically to record YouTube videos, because that'd be insane. But let's go ahead and watch him again. So, I'm going to be a little critical, but you have to understand, this is still like the 80s. This is 1989. But, I mean, like, he, you know, it's a product. His technique is a product of the time. Honestly, like, if I'm gonna be really brutal, I've seen high schoolers with better technique than him in terms of, like, at least looking nicer. But he does do a couple things, because you can't throw 71 meters without having at least a resemblance of good technique, because that's just impossible. I don't even care how athletic you are. Like, I can pick, like, the most athletic person in the freaking world, and if they don't know anything about technique, and I just put a discus in their hand and taught them how to hold it and release it, they would not throw 71 meters. So, obviously, you have to have pretty good technique to throw that. I don't even care if you're on drugs or not. Alright, so he has to do some things right. I'm just saying the overall aesthetic and just some of the positions I think are more of just a product of the time, which isn't their fault. You know, these are the pioneers of the sport that we know today. So, you know, people had to come before we didn't always have people that threw like Ryan Krauser or Joe Kovacs or, you know, whoever. So, you know, there had to be people before. But let's get into this. So, right off the bat, the wind, I actually really like. Just a nice, simple, level wind. Weight evenly distributed. Doesn't do a bunch of wacky stuff. Just gets into it. Very nice. I'm going backwards. Oops, sorry. Nice wind. And then from here, his shoulder's a little down. Me personally, I like to coach flatter shoulders out the back. And honestly, someone that did this really good during this time would be like a Romus Ubartas. I think did a really good job of that during this time. Obviously, there's a lot of people nowadays that I could name that does this a lot better, but oh, excuse me. That did this a lot better, but I personally don't like that. I don't like how he curls in his right arm either. Like that. And I don't like that it's like he just drops his arms. Now, I don't know why he does that, but to me, this just doesn't look like he has any tension in his upper body. However, and this is going to be a theme, his lower body does a fantastic job through this throw. The only complaint I'll have, and we'll get to it, is his sweep. But other than that, and honestly, I mean, everyone swept like this back then. So there were very few, I think probably only really the Germans, and then like maybe a couple other people actually threw with what we consider nowadays to be a good sweep. But most people back then like to knee sweep. And we'll get into what that is. And you still see it sometimes today. Me personally, I don't like it. Probably the biggest person that does that is probably Dolan Romani. But you see a lot of people nowadays have gotten away from that, and that's for good reason. But we'll get into that. So, this, I would prefer his left arm to be out there, reaching more. And then this disc gets a little more up. I think he gets his low point a little early. And his orbit is just off just a little bit, but that's just my opinion. But his legs, fantastic. Keeps both feet on the ground as long as possible. Knees, oh my God. Okay. Knees spread out. Very nice. Gets nice tension in his hips. And then he loses it by kicking up his foot instead of kicking around. So this is the knee leading sweep. So what I don't like is he created all this tension out the back with his legs and then just ruined it with having the knee up. Having the foot up like this instead of low to the ground. Now, there's a couple things that can cause this. One is because it's an either or scenario. Or whatever. Usually people sweep like this because the left shoulder dips out the back. And I'm speaking for right-handed throwers. But it could also be your shoulder dips because you're trying to do this with your sweep leg. So, but usually people don't really try and do that because it's a very awkward thing to do. So usually it's caused by people dipping their left shoulder out the back is usually the main cause of this. This I don't like. And I'll just say that right now. I just don't like knee sweeps. I think you just don't get a lot of angular momentum at all. You lose the tension in your hips, and it causes a lot of problems in the upper body, and then it just leads to you not being that rotational throughout the throw and being a lot more linear, and then just kind of kicking, and you're not getting all you could out of the back of the ring. But that's just my opinion. But I do like he turns his left foot. He actually over rotates a little bit and gets off his left foot a little late. And yeah, so you can see that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's get past there. So he does extend here, but you notice normally I would like the groin to be facing the sector, that toe to be up. So I would like more here and here instead of here and here. But this is a knee sweep, so I also don't like how his chest is just like facing the ground. Again, I know it seems like I'm being super critical, but again, this is just a product of the times. I'm just letting people who watch this video know that, in my opinion, these are not good things to do. And you are not the athlete that this guy was, nor were you taking the drugs he probably was, which, let's be real, he was in the Soviet Union in the 80s, so it's safe to say he's probably taking steroids. But will that ever come out? Will it ever get caught? No. But I think it's a safe bet to say. And yeah. And you can destroy me in the comments, but I think we're all just going to be ignorant if we don't say that. But also, I'm not the type of person that just dismisses everyone that took steroids as, oh, they took steroids, so they weren't actually that good. Like, no, like, even without steroids, I think he could probably still throw like 65 plus meters. So you have to be extremely talented and super good to throw as far as he did, steroids or not. All right, so yeah, but enough of that tangent. Let's get back to the technique. So over rotates a little. What I mean by that is normally, especially with my athletes, I like to teach the left foot stops basically there. The sweep should already be like here. So his sweep is lagging behind, but it's one of the detriments of the knee sweep. Like, so his sweep should already be like here. Actually, his sweep should already pretty much be passing his left foot by now. But it takes a long time. So it causes them to over-rotate. So when you do a knee sweep or if you have just a laggy sweep leg, usually what happens is that you over-rotate because now you need time for your sweep to pass your upper body in the middle. So now you have to wait, but that causes you to stay on your left foot way too long. So you lose all the power you generated out the back. So then you have to kick with your sweep leg. And you don't get that sprint and that spring effect that really speeds you up out the back. So for you guys watching at home or wherever you are, just keep that in mind in your own technique. But personally, I would like him to stop here. Like his left foot to stop here. His sweep leg to already be passing his left foot. And his chest a little more up. His left arm flatter. And the discus maybe like here. But yeah. So because all his positions are kind of like screwed up just a little bit. Like, yeah, you can see like his left foot's pointed that way. His chest, he's looking at the ground. His left arm is down. Not nearly as bad as it previously looked, but it's still not great. Nor does he really like stop his chest in the middle. So normally in this position, I would like his upper body just like stop for like a second and let the sweep really take him around. But this is what I mean. With a knee sweep, you can't be that rotational because you're just not being that rotational. So because he over-rotated and because he's not being that rotational, he's going to land here where the middle of he landed here. The middle of the ring is like here. So he is way off. And if you notice, like I do like that there's separation between the knees. I really like that. But I think that's more of a product of he was over-rotated. Again, this is a 61-meter throw from some random competition. So this is not his best technical throw of his life. There's not that much footage of him. So that's why this is the best angle and quality I found of him. So again, obviously this is a bad throw for him because he's a 71-meter thrower. So that's only 10 meters down on his PR. So obviously this is not the greatest throw in the world for him. But sorry, this is about all I could find that's not either zoomed out like 2 miles away or filmed on a half-baked potato. So, and also the only film I could find that was filmed from the back of the ring. So, sorry, this is the best we got. So, I'm just analyzing just this throw. Alright, I don't think he threw 71 meters like this, so, yeah. But, he gets here. He actually does a nice pre-turn. Where his right foot is pointed that way. And then he curls in his left arm just a little to help him stay in the ring. I don't know how tall or how much he weighs, but I'll try and find that in the comments. Not the comment section. Online. It's hard to find that with these older throwers. But I'll try. If I can find it, I'll put it in. If it's not in there, chances are I didn't find it. But he looks kind of tall. I would assume he's probably 6'4" plus. But I could just be dead wrong. It's so hard to tell without a reference of someone standing next to him. But he's a big dude, I could tell you that. He definitely weighs over 260. But yeah, he's definitely a big dude, which helps a lot with this type of technique. But he gets here. Honestly, from here to the finish, well, from here to here, he actually kind of reminds me of Daniel Stahl a little, which is a little weird to say, but he really does, actually. It's actually kind of crazy. But he gets here, and this is the part I want to highlight that I think he does a fantastic job of, and what really saves his throw, is the second his left foot touches, he gets into the throw a lot. So, left foot touches right there. He actually has a pretty good touchdown for being that over-rotated out the back. And his left arm's clearing already. I like that. And look how far back his discus is. That's actually kind of crazy. Now, people will call this open. I do not classify this as open. And the reason why is because, sure, his left arm is over here and he's not in the classic T position. But the thing is, what I consider open is if the left arm was here and the discus was here. But the discus is still way far behind his right hip. So in my opinion, it's not open. It's the same way I don't consider Tom Walsh landing open. And all that. So, yeah. But, by the way, I hope you guys can't see my notifications. You probably can. I'm really sorry about that. But, I do apologize for that, if that's the case. But, also, let's get back into this. Sorry, I got distracted a little. We get here. Turns the right, very nice. Stays grounded quite a long time. Stays grounded right there. Is up a little bit too early with his left foot, but that was just the style back then. But actually, he doesn't really jump. He actually keeps a bent right, which is actually very rare for this time. And actually gets fully into it. So his left foot lands there and replaces it with the right. Very nice. His finish mechanics are actually, honestly really good, especially for the time period. There aren't that many. Usually during this time, during the 80s, people would literally just get here, just do a glide finish, and just kind of just jump. They would be 5 feet. Just look at a Mac Wilkins, a still picture of Mac Wilkins finish. And his feet would be up here. Doing a 40-inch vertical. It's insane. So this actually, I would copy a lot. This finish is actually really nice. Replaces, very nice. And when he reverses, he lands on the heel. So he's super balanced and then stays in the ring. Just a super nice, easy, clean reverse. Really nice. Super patient. Usually when people catch this far back and have this active of a left arm, it's very hard to stay patient. Usually you'd be off the ground by here and that discus would be flying that way. But he does a fantastic job of the block as well in terms of the upper body. Where, look how long, he's still watching the discus leave his hand. I mean, damn, like that's actually really ahead of his time. Like there's not that many people in this era that actually finish like that, especially even during the 90s. So, really good there. The back in the the back affected the middle, but like whatever. But it's all right. Like again, a product of the times, and yeah, that's all I can say. It's a product of the times. But anyway, I'll link his height, weight, personal best, notable accomplishments in the video description, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.